we all use YouTube to look for resources. One individual, his name's Chris, called, let's see, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. Live Life Outdoors. Chris has a series of videos on building an AR-10, and he really does an excellent job of filming it, breaking the parts down step by step. The video work, I mean, I just tried to show you a little bit of what I'm doing here, and I don't have either the cameras or the zoom or the skill set. I'll leave my skill set when I'm out maybe playing with my bucket garden or cooking something on the stove or making a muzzle loader or working on my buzz, but you know, doing videos, I think I need some training. So I don't ramble on here. I started out looking at Chris's video, and he does an excellent job. He takes the lower part set, and Chris lays all the parts out in groups and helps you identify the springs, each component, and he kind of walks you through. So I started out with the first one. It was, you know, the magazine catch, and he gives a lot of helpful tips, like when you push the button in to screw it, use an eraser so you don't mar the side of your lower receiver. He also brings up some good points too that, let me show you. On this detent, this button, not detent, the button for the magazine catch release isn't flush, it sticks out. And he points out that it's serrated too, so you know, you can feel it with your fingers when you go to. He gives a lot of details too inside what it should look like, you know, checking for your clearance. So I got the parts. I mean, I got the magazine catch, the spring, and the nut, and I followed the steps. Tried to do it on camera. I don't know, I felt like it was all thumbs, but I got it. I mean, it works. So then the next item, and again, he did another good job of providing details on the bolt release. Just like his lower receiver, my lower receiver came with the bolt release pin in here. Might be hard to see. And this bolt release, it functions just like he showed on the video. Again, parts well shown. What he doesn't, I guess it's, as builders we're supposed to, you know, he said it takes a little Allen wrench. Oh my God, you want to talk about a little Allen wrench? It's Iowa. It's 5:10 below in my garage, and I'm trying to find a little Allen wrench. Like an idiot, first I just put my shoes on and figured, oh, 1, 2, 3 in my toolboxes, I'll find one or a set. No. Had to come in, get my coat, get warmed up, go out, look again, in and out, in and out. Oh man, I finally found the Allen wrench. So the biggest task for me was getting the tool, you know. And Arrow, they did a nice job. I mean, and then Chris also explained the difference between an AR-10 and an AR-15. An AR-15, it would have been a roll pin you would have been driving in. And I remember doing that on my AR-15. But man, it was really slick with just this threaded pin. I mean, it really worked nice. And then he did a good job of pointing out you probably should put some blue Loctite thread tight on it, and I did. And so I'm rocking and rolling. I'm thinking, wow, you know, this is just like this video. Got the magazine catch, yeah, got the roll pin, found the Allen wrench. Next, trigger group. Yeah, baby, the trigger group. Again, he does a great job showing the trigger group. I mean, he breaks them all out. So you got the trigger spring, you got the hammer spring, and then he calls it the fire control group. Oh, I call it a lot of things, let me tell you. And you know, he shows how easily the springs snap on, and it wasn't that bad. And he warned caution on the hammer spring. It's kind of stout. So I went to put the lower trigger in, and to my surprise, the trigger, the lower trigger, where this milled opening is, he showed it with the release and just dropping in, just slick as could be. You know, trigger fell in, and then putting a pin in, and you can see there's the pin. I mean, he showed how to use a punch to first line it up, and he pushed with his finger just effortlessly. Well, the first thing I ran into, and I bought an arrow trigger group, so I didn't have to do any fit. It wouldn't fit in the slot, fellas. My lower trigger assembly, the bosses on the side were too big. I couldn't get it to fit. So I had to file and sand and file and sand and try and retry and file and sand. And of course, to do that, you gotta go get file, you gotta go get sandpaper, and we're at. And a nice freezing cold garage. But I learned this time to put my coat on. And yeah, it didn't go like his video. But again, wonderful detail. And I got it to drop in, and the pin, and I had to tap it slightly. And after, I lost time monkeying with it between finding a file and the emery paper I wanted, and but I got it in. So then it was like, wow, what kind of issues am I going to have with the hammer here? You know, and the hammer had no clearance issues. But that's one stout spring. Buddy, he must have like $6 million claw. I mean, the pinch force must be huge. Because in the video, you know, he gave a lot of details on where you put the spring at behind the pin and how you push the pin down, and he warned you, you know, it's going to be a tight spring. And I got it in, and I got a drip pin going, and then next I got the other pin, and I went through one side of went right through, man, right where it should, one side of the receiver, got into the hammer assembly, then I went to get into the other side of the receiver. Oh no, buddy, it didn't. The pin fell out and it won it. So I'm pushing, wiggling, using my thumb on this hammer, you know, pushing it down, doing, I think my thumb's still sore. But I got it. So then I did the test. Yeah, there it is, safety's on fire. Oh yes, in this too, he talks about, you know, you put your safety in without the spring, and to test the trigger mechanism. And as you'll be able to see, there it is. You don't want to slam back, but it does. It do work. After a lot of encouragement, resting my muscles and my fingers and thumbs. So, and I know that his video is a how-to, but sometimes it's nice to hear a video of, this is the how-to, but you might run into this issue. And if you do, this is what you need to do and need to understand, and pull in some patience.